Right, Sophie, we're going to talk about one of your all-time most popular rings out in your retail store, but also here on QVC, and that is what you beautifully called your puzzle ring in sterling silver. And you can see this is all sterling silver. And then here's your 14-karat gold plating over sterling silver. And we'll talk about it, what it reminded of us of in just a second, but know that they're 2.9 grams of sterling silver, and then the 14-karat gold plating over the sterling silver. $16 will get this home. Only $16. 4 through 11 are the sizes in this. Let's talk about your puzzle ring, and it kind of had an evolution, if we could say that. It kind of got reinvented along the way.
Yes. So one of the things that I really loved, so the puzzle ring, if you know the traditional puzzle ring, it's two separate rings that detach, and then you click them together, and then they make one ring. The challenge I was seeing with my customers, and actually it was one of my celebrity customers, she was fussing with it, and she's like, I can't put them together. I don't know what to do. So when QVC asked me to do the puzzle ring, I said, let's do it with the solder in place. Because one of the things is the last thing you want to do is you're rushing out of the house, you're trying to put the ring together, and you can't put it on your finger. And then you decide, oh, I can't handle it. So I think that's why we soldered the bands together. So it still gives you that effect, and it gives you that puzzle-like effect, but you don't have to worry about putting it all together yourself. It's done for you. And then what's really great about it is you have two of them. Like, imagine if you had to put together two stacking rings. I mean, this way you just put it on the first one and then you put the second, and you've got yourself two bands connected, and it looks so beautiful together.
See, this is what Sophie's talking about. She soldered it together for us, which makes it a very, very comfortable ring. But it goes back to what I see in your jewelry, and that's just my observation, is you have such movement and so much of a sculpted look to your jewelry, which is amazing. This almost looks like two ribbons that kind of beautifully intertwine together.
And what's really beautiful about this ring is that I have a story for you. So in my retail store, I had two women walk in. It was two women who had been friends for like 30 years. She fell in love with the ring, and then she ended up wanting to buy it for herself. And then her friend was like, you know what, I really like it too. She said, let's get it together. It'll be our friendship. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing. And so that's what it is. It's like that connection that you have with that special someone, whether it's your sister, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your daughter. I mean, they're just beautiful rings, and the price is great, and I wear them all the time. I even wore them to go see the glaciers in Argentina, so they came with me to.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you were telling us about your trip, and I mean, it wasn't like you were sitting there poolside. I mean, you were doing everything. You were hiking. You were very active on your trip as well.
Exactly, and I wore these pieces while I was active, and that's the great thing. You go to your baseball games, you go to your soccer games, bring on your kids, your grandkids. You could wear these pieces there, and then you could take them to church, or you could take them to your friend's house, or you could get them for cocktails with your girlfriends. So it's really these are, like you said, they have a lot of movement, but they're very versatile. The weight of the piece is wonderful. You feel it on your finger. It's not airy. It doesn't feel like feather. It feels like a substantial piece of jewelry. And it's a keepsake. It's almost like you take that piece of art that's in your house and you're actually wearing it out to.
Well, and you give us at this price, I mean, with 5 easy pays at $16, you choose the credit card or your QVC credit card. Oh, and here's the other thing you could do. Now remember, we're still on Tuesday, so we have the 12 days of Q cards. So if you have your QVC credit card, you could take 15% off of it, the purchase with the Q card, just using this code 12DAYS5. That would be a maximum of $20 off, but why not? Because then it becomes even more affordable, and you can do exactly what Sophie is talking about. The other thing, and we all had the best conversation. Your team is wonderful. The four of us were talking and talking just about this ring in particular. It's very substantial. You are looking for a ring And when I looked at this, my interpretation was when my mom was alive, my mom and my daughter loved rings. You know, like I love a good bracelet. Those two loved rings. So what I started to do when my daughter was old enough, I would buy her the same ring I bought my mom. And they just love that special bond. And I think that that is something that you could afford to do with this. Or maybe it's with your sisters. Or we talked about how this looks like a ribbon. And you remember what people would say, the saying is you tie a ribbon around your ring so you never, around your finger so you never forget. So maybe this ribbon around your finger so you never forget is in memory of someone that you love. Be it a four-legged friend that you lost and it broke your heart that's over the Rainbow Bridge, or whether it's your mom or grandmom who might not be here anymore. And maybe when you look at the ring, it reminds you of that. Or, Sophie, you know, we talked about how you're giving us the chance, particularly with 5 easy pays at $16, well, it would be like $32 if you were going to buy two. You can go ahead, maybe do one in sterling and maybe the other one in the look of yellow and create your own ring.
Exactly. And you can actually use other rings in between.
Ah, perfect.
Other rings so that you could create like a trifecta, you know, like you get all three rings together and it looks like a bigger band. So that's what's really great about this ring, is it has so much versatility. And even though it doesn't seem like something that's substantial to the finger,
substantial.
You feel it. You feel it's very, very comfortable. That's the other really important thing to mention. All my pieces have comfort built in the design so that you can really take it. And like, this is one of those rings that looks like a heritage ring. It comes from like a fashion house and you're not quite sure. You're like, I feel like this is giving me memories, nostalgia for something I saw in the 70s and the 80s for this type of ring.
Well, and this also is something, and Sophie, we can talk more about this as we go since we're sort of running out of time now. But you design in your store, which you've had for over 7 years, you not only work with your designers in New York, but also you work with a very special family-run factory in India that usually only works with very fine and precious, like, you know, platinum and diamonds and things like that. But they saw your designs and said, okay, Sophie, we're in. We will make your things, because they have that quality to them. They have that designer to them.
Precisely. I love that team. So I came across the India team when it was COVID, and I was looking for a great small family run business that was overseas. I had bad experiences previously, so I was a little bit hesitant initially. But when I met them, I realized that there really are, they stand behind what they make. And just the connection that I have, I can't wait to go to India in 2025. That's my goal for 2025, to meet the entire team. And they send me a postcard every year